Hello, I'm Lee.
And I'm Wally.
And this is Summer. And we are Three for the Road RV. Hello roadies, thank you for joining us. We are going to share with you today our top 10 things that happened to us on our first 2,000 miles leaving Utah and heading toward New Hampshire. This will be the 2,000 miles from Utah to Livingston, Texas, where we went to get our domicile set up and our mail service and all that. So here we go. Number 1. We learned immediately in the first 200 miles that we were not going to be safe if we did not get an equalizer stabilizer hitch set up on our truck. We thought for sure that the truck was tough enough and the trailer was light enough to handle everything, and we learned very quickly that we had a couple scary moments because we were in pouring rain and lots of wind. And it was just from Utah to Beaver, Utah, Sunday, Utah to Beaver, Utah, when we realized that we were going to need some help. So by the time we hit St. George, we went and got us the equalizer hitch stabilizer system. We ended up getting the 4-point system, a whopping $800 system, but by the time we pulled out of there, we felt so much better already. We could definitely tell a difference. And so we were very grateful that we decided to go that route.
Yeah, we were able to increase our travel speed from 50 to 70 miles an hour.
Which I wasn't happy about. I kept it down to 60 still because I was a nervous driver. This was my first time towing this large of a trailer behind us, and I just did not feel safe enough going above 60 or 65. Number 2. Remember, there are hardly any gas stops between Vegas and Kingman, Arizona. We did not know this, and so the turnoff to the Hoover Dam area is where we should have turned off to fill up. But no, we did not think of that, and so by the time we actually hit the last stop gas station that's right there in the White Hills area, we were down to only 45 miles left on the tank, and that made us really nervous. We couldn't believe that we had done that. And so we now learned our lesson, and now anytime we are at half a tank, I'm looking for a gas station immediately. And that was really crazy because it was just very scary to be pulling into that gas station. Thankfully we found one, and it's actually called the Last Stop gas station. And as it turned out, we were only like 40 miles outside of Kingman anyway, but we probably would have been pulling in on fumes. And so, yeah, that was kind of a duh moment for us, not to get ourselves in that kind of situation again. Number 3, Vegas to Phoenix is long and lonely and very hilly, and it kills the gas mileage. Going up and down all those hills and long hills. It was crazy. We only got 8 miles to the gallon, if that, in that section of road. It was not a happy experience. And then to top things off, when we ended up there at that last stop gas station, they knew that we were desperate, and they get everybody in the wallet there. It was over $4 a gallon on gas. So that's another thing to think about when you're planning your gas stops. Don't pick the ones that are in the middle of nowhere and they're the only ones around, because you'll get gouged every time. Okay, number 4. Is that what we're on? Number 4?
Yep.
Okay. Phoenix is huge and traffic is crazy and scary.
I don't like traffic.
Yeah, and it took us an hour and a half just to get from Phoenix to Mesa, where we were staying with family. We could not believe how long it took us. It was long and it was hot. It was so busy, and it doesn't help to get right in town at 4 in the afternoon. Yeah, where rush hour begins. So plan that better too in the future.
The roads are not in very good condition would think they'd be a little better, but even the freeways were really rough.
Yes.
And bumpy.
And bumpy. That's right.
I don't like bumpy.
However, the one good thing that we enjoyed in Phoenix, which was technically, I guess, more in the Peoria, I guess is how you pronounce it, area, is a zoo that we spent an all-day trip at, and we actually already shared that video with you, I think, and that was called the Wildlife World and Aquarium, and we spent several hours there. At first, when we first got there, they thought that we kind of felt like they were gouging us there because it was, what, like $120 just to get in the door for just the three of us, and we're going, good grief, that was pretty crazy. However, Summer got to feed the giraffe and the koi fish, and she got to touch a stingray, and she even got on the log flume boat ride with her cousins.
And I got up and
got really wet, huh? It was kind of fun for you.
Yep.
I got soaking.
Do you think the roadies want to see you chewing on your shoe?
I don't have to.
Put it down.
I can't.
So anyway, by the time that day was over, we felt like we had gotten our money's worth, and so we really enjoyed that day. And Summer had a blast spending all that time with her cousins as well. Okay, number 6. We learned that overnighting at rest stops was not so bad. Sometimes you hear pretty bad stories out there in the YouTube world about how loud it is because all the trucks are still running their engines all night long, or the highways are so loud. But you know what? After a long, exhausting driving day, all you do is you hit the sack and you don't hear a thing until morning. At least that was for us. We were so exhausted and so tired. And especially me, you know, being stressed out about my first time driving this big rig and having to deal with mean other drivers and trying to navigate the maps and all that, I would be totally exhausted by 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, and I would just go to bed and I would just be out until morning. So that was what we learned really fast, was we do not mind rest areas. And we also found out too in our travels that you cannot find hardly any harvest hosts or boondockers welcome very much along the routes that we were taking. And so we ended up either doing rest stops, or we also did a couple Walmart stops as well.
Which weren't so bad.
Right. In fact, that's number 7. Walmart docking, not so bad. We actually really appreciated it, because by the time we hit Fort Stockton in Texas, that was our first Walmart docking, and we needed to stock up on groceries by then. And so we were kind of grateful to be able to do that at a Walmart, just to be able to restock and to have a night's rest there.
Yep.
Alrighty, we're already up to number 8. This isn't taking too long at all, is it? What do you want to say, Summer? You want to say number 8? Say Texas drivers.
Texas driver.
Boo!
Chicken drivers is crazy.
Crazy. And we were almost sorry to call ourselves, you know, trying to plan on domiciling in Texas, because by the time we left Texas, I was so fed up with the drivers there. I mean, the Texas was where I had my scariest moments. It was mainly the non-courtesies that people would extend or not extend to us while we're trying to merge into traffic or change lanes. It kind of gave me a little bit more empathy to the huge semi-truck drivers, because I could almost feel their pain when other drivers would not get out of their way, because here we were trying to merge onto the freeways off an exit, trying to get up to speed and everything, and we see the lane is ending, and we're going to end up on the shoulder or off the road or something, and these people on the freeway will not move over. And so what are you having to do? You're just having to butt in and just hope and pray that they realize you're coming no matter what, and they get out of the way. So sure, they let you in as they slam on their brakes and they whip around you and they give you the prize of number 1 and all that, you know, and scream and holler. And by the time that we're finally on the road, my nerves are completely shot because I thought for sure we were going to die because they would not let us in. And then I really appreciated it when not only are we trying to merge onto traffic like that, but then we realized the next place we need to go is like a mile down the road of an exit that's on the left. So now you have to cross 4 lanes of highway traffic to get over in the left exit lane. And are people going to let you in over there? No. Their priority, they got to do what they got to do. And so here I was again, having to move over and people screaming at me. And it's like, well, hello, I'm bigger than you. You got to let me in. And so by the time those couple days were done, all I wanted to do was go to bed and bawl because my nerves were so shot. In fact, I'm getting all upset about it, just reliving it right now. And it's been a couple months since this has happened. So, yeah, I was not very happy with Texas drivers and their non-compliance with letting us in and being friendly about it. So I was not having a good time at that point because I was already nervous about driving in the first place. And of course Wally, he's over there on the side freaking out because he can see me freaking out and everybody else is freaking out, and we were just all a big mess. It was just a nightmare. Okay, number 9. Okay, say number 9. Okay.
I don't get it.
We did not find a single RV park that had any decent Wi-Fi. We struggled the whole entire way. And we thought, well, gee, you know, we've got our hotspots. We'll just use the hotspots if we need to. And the hotspots would not even connect at all. We had a hard time,
We tried 2 times.
A lot more than 2.
10 times.
Not more than 2.
And so we were really kind of disappointed because the websites that we went on to book these places bragged about the awesome Wi-Fi that they had. And then to get there and we could barely get email, let alone stream a show or a movie or whatever, that was really frustrating to us. And so we are definitely going to be in the market for a better Wi-Fi system to try and help us out in that manner. And so, yeah. And what we were really disappointed in was by the time that we got to Livingston, we thought for sure, since they are, you know, who they are, the escapees people, and they really are supposed to be helping out the RV community and full-timers and all that, we thought for sure that their Wi-Fi was going to be a much better system. But, you know, there were days when we were there that we didn't have any Wi-Fi access at all, let alone minimal. And that was very disappointing to us that they did not help out their customers better than that. And so I was kind of sad about that.
No, say number.
Okay, now say what? Number 10. Say 10.
10.
Texas inspections. We were very surprised how easily it ended up being, because we were hearing all kinds of stories on how they were going to gouge us with money, and it was going to take hours and hours to get it all done. And so we planned on staying a whole entire week there in Livingston to get everything done, and we actually only had to stay 3 days. And so mainly one day was just because we were so exhausted we needed just to chill. And then it only took 15 minutes at the inspection station, which was crazy because we thought for sure that they were actually going to check everything like an inspection. Check the brakes, check the tires, you know, make sure our blinkers worked, you know, a typical inspection on a vehicle that we've always been used to. And all we did was drive in. They said, yep, you've got a truck. Yep, you've got a trailer. Good. Here's your tickets.
Just matched up the VIN numbers. And stuff like that is all they did.
And then it only cost us, what, $5 or something? $5 or $10? And so we just couldn't believe how cheap it was to get it done, and easy. And then even changing our licenses over and stuff, we waited in line maybe an hour is all.
Well, but the process was made worse by the still being closed from the pandemic. But you're supposed to make an appointment, which could be anywhere from about 2 weeks out to 6 weeks out, depending on what you wanted. But they told us just show up in line in the morning and we'll try to fit you in. And so they were able to fit us in within the first hour.
Yeah, that was really... Yes, Summer?
No busy.
It wasn't busy,
It
was
wasn't
it?
too busy. That's why they got us in, huh?
Yeah, they had
We didn't feed any rhino. Nope.
Whatever.
She said we didn't feed any rhinos. I don't know where that came from. I really don't.
When we went to you don't get to feed the rhinoceroses when you go to the zoo.
Oh, yeah, at the zoo in Phoenix. So now she's going back to Phoenix again with her rhino story. Okay.
And
That's
now next one.
There's no more.
So that was basically it. Our adventures from Utah to Livingston, Texas. So I think the most scary part about the whole thing was just dealing with the other drivers around us. Me trying to learn how to navigate the trailer and truck together and learning how to try and stay in the lanes. And I was hovering over the white line and the rumble strip quite a bit because I was so nervous about the big semi-trailers coming by, and I could feel kind of the wind of them buffering us a little bit, and that kind of made me nervous. And so I was always trying to stay over, and if I went over too far it made Wally nervous, and if I was over too far in the middle it made me nervous. And so trying to find that happy medium was a little bit tricky for me to learn. And then some of the interstate roads were a lot more narrow than we were expecting. So we were expecting an interstate to be wide lanes and 4 lanes at a time, and that only happened in the big metropolis cities. But when you're out there in the middle of the states and stuff, it wasn't like that. And so that was something to get used to as well.
Also, don't rely on your navigator on your phone. Because you really need to pay attention to the road signs. The navigator will head you in the right direction for the most part, but you really need to pay attention to the road signs because the navigator won't see some of the changes that they've made since the navigator had been there. And so it can kind of head you in the wrong direction, exits in a different place, or where the roads connect a little bit. And with the trailer and truck and trailer, you can get caught in a situation where it's hard to turn around and hard to get the direction you want to get. So.
Yeah, there was a couple times when we thought we were going the right way on the exit, only to realize that Nancy is who we call our navigator system. We called her Nancy Navigator. That all of a sudden she would say, take the next exit and make a U-turn. And we're going, what? We thought we were going the right way, because then it would wait like a mile down the road before it would say anything. And so there were times when we did have to get off the exit, find a place to turn around, and start heading the right direction again. So that was kind of an interesting deal to deal with too when you're pulling this big old trailer behind you as well. So, yeah.
Not big a trailer. It's small.
Well, it's kind of big when you're used to a pop-up trailer and then you're now pulling a 33-foot tongue pull. Yeah, it's a big trailer when you're dealing with that kind of change.
With a 25-foot truck.
Dan.
Yep.
So it makes us about 60 feet altogether.
Yep. And so, yeah, that was quite the learning curve. So in the next few weeks, you're going to start seeing our adventures at our New Hampshire home that we've had for the last few months, doing our work camping job, and we'll be sharing what the campground looks like and the fun things that we get to do, and all our adventures that way. So we're excited to share that with you, and we look forward to talking with you again soon. So, yes, ring the bell, subscribe, yeah, and to join us next time. And what is our theme? To always take the scenic route. Thank you.